Hello, everybody, and welcome to Big Bold You, a show that is dedicated to inspiring everybody out there. And yes, that does mean you to play bigger because we need you playing bigger. The world needs you to live at your biggest and best self because we are in a war between good and evil. And the only way evil wins is when good people don't do enough. We want to inspire you to be bolder, which means you're going to have to step out of your comfort zones. You're going to have to do things that you probably don't really want to do. But believe me, once you do them and you realize you can do them, you're going to be inspired to do more so you can become the best version of you. Now, this show airs every Monday, 3 p.m. live. It's going to be able to reach it on YouTube at any time you need to. But there's a couple of segments that we do every week, and one of them is the book of the month. And our book of the month, and this is for you, Zach Frazier. I got a text from one of my sons. He's one of his best friends, but I want to call him a badass, so I think I'm going to. He is. But our book is Think and Grow Rich. And we're going to have this book here in January. We're going to also use it in February because there's so many people that are emailing me, they're texting me, they're calling me, they're messaging me, and they're saying this book is changing their lives. And we want to help change as many people's lives as possible. The other segment that we do every week is Laughter is the Best Medicine, as well as Ask Jen. So we want you to send in your questions. We want you to send in your funny videos, and we just want you to enjoy every one of our episodes. Now, I'm very, very excited today because we've got just an incredible person. She is the creator and founder of the Intention Table, which I have gone to, and she's just an incredible person. So Priya Patel, welcome so much to the show.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here and spend this time with you and the audience.
And we did not plan to both be in pink and white, but we are in pink and white. So
channeled in each other's energies here.
Exactly. And that's a great thing when you realize you're with the right people, because in life, that's what I say all the time is you have to hitch your wagon to the right people.
Absolutely.
And it's so vitally important. Before we get started with Priya, and I told her, I said, Priya, you're so amazing. I'm just going to let you talk, and I'm just going to be in awe because this is really an incredible topic, which is the power of meditation. And I want you to know we've got our phones right here, so you can ask us questions. But here's one of the questions I want to ask you right off the bat. How many of you practice meditation? And if it's yes, I want to know how many times a week and how long you do your meditation. Now, there are no right or wrong answers, but we're going to get to those. And if you have any questions for Priya as we go along, please just put them in the comment box. Let us know. And even if you're watching on YouTube, let us know, and we will answer those as we get along. So my little message, Priya, because every week I'm going to do a message from our book. Have you read this book?
I haven't, actually.
Okay, you got to read it.
But I have heard of it.
You got to read it. Napoleon Hill, he's just amazing. But Think and Grow Rich, one of the messages that really, to me, speaks to what you're doing as your whole business and your career, your passion, and that is your subconscious mind. And it's really getting your subconscious mind aligned with your conscious mind. But here's the thing. Your subconscious mind does not sit idle at all. It's always working. It's always thinking. And just as the ground is wired for weeds, our brain is wired for negativity. So you've got to constantly be putting into your subconscious brain great things and also what you want it to do. So just remember, if you want your subconscious mind focusing on what you want it to focus on, you've got to tell it what you want to focus on because it is not going to sit idle, which to me leads right into who you are and what you do. And my first question to you is, how did you get involved in meditation? How long have you been doing it? And what's the impact been in your life?
Yeah. So for me, I've only come to realize that meditation was something that I was really drawn to, even as a kid. I used to just find myself sitting in the bathroom, not on the toilet. I used to sit in the sink. I would put my feet in the sink and sit on the counter and just sit there. And that's one of my earliest memories, is just sitting and sitting. And so at that point in time, no, I didn't know that that was meditating. but I truly believe that it was just something that I was kind of drawn to from an early age. Over time, I stopped
Right.
that practice of just sitting, and life took over, and
Well,
busyness took over.
So when you were younger, I
Yeah.
mean, like, well, how old were you at the time?
I remember doing that as young as 6, 7,
Okay.
8 years old.
So did you know how people will say you're dreaming, you're daydreaming, and I can remember, I don't know about y'all, but I can remember many a day when I was in school, whether it was elementary school or middle school or high school, and I'd be daydreaming out the window, in that state. Because as kids, that's what we do. We daydream, and we're in the present moment, which meditation is all about, and we're thinking about fun, awesome things.
Yeah.
And so, at that age, did you find yourself, when you look back, were you kind of in that state, or now that you do meditation so much, you really know you were in a meditative state?
No, now that I look back at it, I know that I was in a meditative state. And for me, it wasn't even necessarily a daydream. It was literally just seeing what that moment was bringing, and like being with my breath, and just sitting, like literally the art of sitting. And like I said, as I got older, that practice went away. And that wasn't even a practice at that point in my life. It was what I did for fun.
Right.
That concept of just sitting kind of stopped, and I went the opposite route. And I was go, go, go,
Right.
go, go.
I know, I can relate to that.
To the point where I didn't even know what I was going for.
Yeah.
And I didn't know myself. And I found myself really unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And I started my meditation practice again with this concept that happiness is inside of me. There's nothing on the outside that's going to bring it to me, nor do I want anything on the outside to bring it to me. And that is where I fell in love with meditating and practicing it consistently, and really finding joy within.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been really pleasant for me to experience for myself, but then also now teaching it.
Right.
Teaching comes naturally to me. I taught as a special education teacher for 14 years, older than I look. Yes, I taught. And so teaching came natural to me, and I realized, gosh, this has been so beneficial for me, unraveling, the truths of life, as well as, working through a divorce, and finding inner peace. And so I know that this is something that I'm really thankful to be able to share with others.
Well, and what I love about it is it truly is your passion, and
Yes.
and you can see it. I'm feeling it over here. I'm one of those I'm go, 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 go. But I understand the importance of meditation, so it's something that I do, and I have to do it, and I'm not near probably as good as you are, and as
There's no
disciplined,
good or bad.
as disciplined as Priya is. But a lot of people that are watching, we've all heard of meditation, but really, what is the
What is it?
definition of meditation?
So there's all different kinds of definitions, and you'll hear it said different ways. The one that resonates with me the most is that it's a science of calming the mind and body, as well as opening up the heart, as much as it is a practice of calming the mind and body, as well as opening up the heart. They go together, the science and the practice. Just like if you're learning to play a piano or play basketball or do yoga, you have to practice. And I think most people, they start with what they think meditation is supposed to look like, like a monk with the cross-legged and the hands right
That's what
here.
That's what I thought. That's what
you thought.
That's what I started thinking. There you go. I mean,
Oh yes, okay. So that's me.
you got to.
That's me.
That's
So-
in my mind. I'm like,
so
you got to find a cliff.
That's taken a lot of practice, right, to get to that
Right,
point.
exactly.
But that's where, as a beginner, there's some best practices, right?
How do you start?
How do you start?
What's the easiest way that if somebody out there is considering, and we're going to go through the benefits because there are so many benefits to
Yes.
meditation, but if somebody's thinking, okay, well, how do I get started? I mean,
Absolutely. Honestly, the easiest way to get started is just to
Start.
get started. Very simple advice, but very impactful advice. And the quickest tip that I can give is to follow your breath. And your breath is a really beautiful tool. If you think about emotions and breath are connected. Like when you're scared or frightful, the breath becomes faster. When you're in a different state, the breath becomes slower. And if you can just learn to watch the breath, which is in some ways a technique of one-pointed focusness, where you're just watching the breath, and you're not focusing on all these concepts of I can't quiet my mind. You're giving yourself an actual active thing to concentrate on. That's one place that you can certainly start with, as well as don't worry about that perfect posture of sitting cross-legged with both feet on the hips. Find a sit that's comfortable for you. It could be a chair with your back against it and then grounding your feet onto the ground and feeling that sensation of that connection and just like seeing what's comfortable for you.
Right.
Maybe for you, starting looks like laying down. You get to decide for yourself what that looks like.
So, well, that's awesome, because I think a lot of times people want to do things exactly right. and then that's their excuse for not starting something, because they're like, well, I don't know. But I have heard some basic techniques, which you're mentioning, which if you want to sit, you sit, have your feet, your shoes off, planted on the floor, nice and comfortable.
Yeah.
You always hear about them talking about breath. So what is it exactly in the breath that you're just so, and to your point, I mean, I know there's more than just me out there, but I remember when I used to try to go to yoga classes. And I say try because I'm a flexible person. So it has nothing to do with my physical capability of doing it. But I would sit in the yoga class and I would think, I've got to go do this and I've got to do that. So the first thing that I thought when I started to do meditation was, you just have to not think of anything. But you're saying just start with your breath. Just breathe. It doesn't matter how deep or how shallow, just breathe and just focus on that first.
Yeah, so that's one of the misconceptions actually, is to not think about anything. You have thousands and thousands and thousands upon thousands of thoughts a day. And I think there's a lot of research that shows that most human beings, they can concentrate on something for about 5 to 6 seconds and stay on that thought before the next one pops up. So you're setting yourself up for failure almost if you think that you are going to have if you're going to have a meditation practice where you're going to be completely silent and quiet. Meditation teaches you to be with your thoughts and to observe them without reaction. Right. So that's one of the things that we work with beginner meditators is it's going to be impossible, to begin with, to just simply say, I'm going to have this quiet mind. But what happens is a beginner has in their head what they think it's supposed to look like. They think that they're supposed to have this quiet mind, and they have to sit for this like long hour or duration. So I can see why a lot of people give up. Well, I can see that.
When I started doing meditation probably a couple of years ago, and I did it because my growth and development coach that I was working with said, you get to a certain point in your development in life where you need to do it, because it's going to expand your mind. It's going to calm you. It's going to center you. You're going to be able to get more aligned with your subconscious mind, which I'm really big on, and all of that. And I said, okay. But he had me start at 1 minute.
Absolutely.
It's like, and I'm thinking, okay, I can do a minute now. I got all excited because I can do this, because people don't want to fail. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to fail. And so when he said I could do it for a minute, and then I'm obviously very big into goals and planning, and he said, just think of a goal, think of a word, think of an emotion, think of one thing, because to your point, if you think you're not going to think of anything, that's
You
crazy.
will.
You will. And the thing also, 96% of what a person thinks on a day-to-day basis is exactly the same. And when you start to realize that, gosh, if I want to have different results than I have right now, you can never outperform your thoughts. So you have to change the way you think first. Even if people change their behavior, they're going to default back to the way they think.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the benefits of meditation and the benefits of just being present and challenging your thoughts and challenging your perspective on things.
Yeah, it's what you'll notice is you're talking a lot about the subconscious mind, and that's where habituation and patterning, conditioning is the forefront of that subconscious mind. And so, when you begin to meditate, what you're doing is really bringing your awareness to the prefrontal cortex.
Right.
And that is where you concentrate, where your ability to build your awareness and concentration gets stronger
Right.
and stronger and stronger. And so those subconscious patternings or fears, anxieties, worries get smaller.
Right.
There's so many benefits.
Well, I was going to say there are some myths, and one of them is the silence.
Yeah.
Another one is you have to have a total clear mind. But then what's this dismiss?
A lot of people, it doesn't work, and I don't need it.
So they just say, I don't need it. It's not for me.
Yes.
It's not important.
It's a big, it's a big myth.
Right.
That, I don't need it. And, to me, everybody needs a little bit of self-awareness, and everybody can choose. It's a skill that could really be beneficial for coping, and most people don't have healthy coping mechanisms for managing stress, for managing day-to-day emotions, communication, and so this is something that absolutely could help. So,
there's no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, are you out there right now and sometimes you're short-tempered?
Yes.
I'm just being 100% serious that if you find yourself where it's like you get just frustrated easily, you need to relax, and that is a practice.
And for sure. And so bringing that point up, right? So you can see over the practice of it, that maybe, just maybe, the next time you get into an argument or a confrontation, that you might take a pause with your breath first. And that's when you start to see that, yes, meditation is working for me, right? You may not notice it. It may not be very clear that this is working, but over time, you'll start to see the benefits of it.
That's a really good idea, Priya. Honestly, because it's when people start to realize the impact of what they're doing, that's when people get excited, just like with working out. Working out and eating right, when you're working out and you're eating right and you don't see any benefits, you're like, I don't know if I like this. But when you start to see some tone, you start to feel better, you're sleeping better at night, you have more energy. When you see the benefits and you can correlate that to, okay, this is what I'm doing. So what a great idea. You find yourself starting to get upset. You just stop and just take a breath.
Yeah, people around you might start to notice the benefits of meditation before you even do.
Yes.
That's something that's really been beautiful to watch too. Just people saying, wow, you would have normally reacted this way, and just to see the way that you approach life and your mindset. And to me, that really is the power of meditation. And we talk about the power of meditation. To me, the power of meditation is the word choice. I think meditation gives us choice. And we get to take the power of ourselves back by how we respond versus reacting.
Right. And that's really important that we do take that time and we react the way we want to react, instead of just reacting
habituation, patterning,
exactly,
conditioning.
Those
things.
And one of the things that you and I were talking about when we were on the phone, just in preparation for the show, is you don't grow accidentally; you grow on purpose.
Yes.
And meditation is part of that growth and development that can really, I think, help you go along that path faster than trying to do it all on your own.
Oh my gosh, like if you think about it, there's all this research out there that shows that meditation saves you time. Not so there's this myth that it takes a lot of time. Not only
That's
does it,
exactly what I was
it saves you
thinking.
time because you have more clarity, more focus, more intent with what you're doing and the way that you respond. But, ladies and gents, here's another beautiful fact. Meditation has been proven to change your biological, there's your chronological age, but your biological age, because stress can impact your body immensely.
100%.
Your heart rate, the way that your brain is functioning and your body is functioning, your organs are functioning. So with meditation, you can literally go backwards with biological age. The fountain of youth.
And here's the thing, is of everything that we can do to ourselves, all of our habits, if we live a sedentary lifestyle, if you live an active lifestyle, to your point, just what you eat and everything, of all of that, stress is the most damaging to our body.
Absolutely. And our bodies are our loyal partners that carry with us the good and the bad. And what are we doing to help move that energy out of our bodies and our minds and our hearts at the same time? So I'm a big fan.
Well, one of the things on your slide that you had was you did talk about time. And that's what I was going to say is, in reality, people say, I don't have time to meditate for a minute or 2 minutes or however long. How long do you do it now?
So, I have a unique practice. Like one of my tools that I do is I chant. I love chanting. I like the vibrations. So about 45 minutes, but 20 of that is chanting. So really the time that I actually spend just sitting is about 20 minutes.
Right.
And that's
so 45 minutes.
But it doesn't have to be.
That's really good.
That doesn't have to be like that.
No, I know you.
The point is,
right. You start at a minute.
I choose
and you move
to.
up. Right.
I think that's the thing. I choose to sit for 45.
It's amazing. I think
Most
it's amazing.
People, you can start with like what Jen said.
Yeah.
Start with one, and I'd be happy to guide you guys through a 1 minute practice
right
now.
Okay, let's do it. Are y'all up for it? Everybody up for it to do 1 minute? Okay. I got everybody here in the studio that says we're up for it.
Okay, so we are going to just do 1 minute. I've got the clock in front of me right now. And so from here, you can just close off your eyes and close off the eyes with the expectation here that your mind will be wandering. Allow for that to be there. And from this moment in time, just begin to bring your awareness here to the fact that you have breath, that there's an inhale and there's an exhale. You may possibly begin to bring your awareness to the sensation of the inhale, that as you inhale, the belly and the abdominal area expands. And that as you exhale, that the abdominal area begins to collapse. And continue to watch the sensation of the breath as it goes in and as it goes out. And I'll close off my voice for 10 seconds or so, and you just watch your breath. If you choose to, you can bring the gaze to the point between your eyebrows as you watch your breath. And then slowly, slowly, slowly just open up your eyes. And there you go. You've completed your first minute of meditation.
That was awesome, Priya. Okay, so here comes my next question. I want y'all to know that she is sitting with her legs crossed. I'm just kidding.
I'm levitating. I'm not sitting. I'm levitating.
She is levitating right now. I just wanted y'all to know that. I had my eyes open. No. No. So one of the things I was thinking, though, is it was so much easier having you guide it.
Yeah.
So do you recommend when you first start, should you have guided meditation?
Yeah. So to be honest, one of the things that I do teach is guided meditation may be right for you. It may not be right for you. So one of the things that I specifically do is I help people learn what is their learning style. So
Okay.
if you are like an auditory or a tactile person, a guided meditation that focuses on the breath or like a tactile sensation, that would be great for you. If you're a kinesthetic learner, then a guided meditation may not be right for you. If you're an auditory learner, then absolutely a guided meditation would be right for you.
Now, okay, I'm going to ask you another question. This is for selfish reasons, okay? Maybe y'all want to know the answer for this too, but when you're doing your meditation and you are thinking intentionally about things, what do you just say? Just think intentionally about whatever it is you want to.
Great question. So like for myself, right, new business and I don't know what I'm doing, I'm letting it kind of evolve on its own. I do call in and I literally say, because I do believe that everything that I need to know, I know.
Exactly.
And I just have to be able to listen. So, there's this concept that prayer is asking for guidance and meditation is listening to the guidance. So, if I have something specifically going on, I literally will say, like, show me. And I just sit and I allow for whatever comes up to come up, the thoughts come. The difference is when I know that something really resonates with me, I have sensation in my body from head to toe. Like it might be a chill or an aversive sensation. There's some signal in my body letting me know that this is not just an idea, that this is the right way.
Right.
And most people don't know how to listen to the sensations of the body, but they're there. I just spent 10 days doing a silent Vipassana retreat where all you do is focus on for hours and hours upon hours on sensation on the body.
Yes.
And there's a lot of knowledge that our body gives us.
Okay, so here's another question that I know inquiring minds want to know. So you know how it says you got this gut feeling, feeling, always go with your gut, always go with your gut. So I know that people, at least they understand that aspect of it, that when something is right, you do get a physical feeling.
Yes.
And then just on the opposite as well is a lot of times when you know something's not right.
Yes.
You get a feeling. So I think most people understand that concept. So when you talk about meditation, it's, these, at least it's been my experience, when it's something really big, you're going to feel one way or the other. But in reality, you get those feelings for all day.
Yeah.
So when you start to become more aware and you start to quiet your mind and your body and live in the moment, you'll start to realize and recognize those thoughts, those feelings in your body so much more.
And you'll know if you're resonating or not resonating. And so it takes practice. It's not something that happens overnight. It took me a while to even, I was very numbed out in my body. So it took me like 2 years, very truthfully, to be able to feel sensation right under my nose, right? Like the breath. I couldn't feel, but it did get to the point with practice that I can feel sensation like from every part, from my head to my toe, if I bring my awareness to it.
Well, that's a really good tip, Priya.
Time.
It does take time. It takes time. So you have to commit. That's one of the things, I've got these Ask Jen's questions, and we're going to get to one here in just a minute. But I get asked questions all the time, and one of them is, how long do I have to do this? And the answer is, as long as you want results.
What a great answer.
As long as you want results. And a lot of times, it does take a year or two before the practice. It's just like if you were going to play a piano. If you wanted to become proficient at any skill, you don't go and practice just 1 year and then then you're just the best pianist you ever.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Like for me, right, the reason that I choose to do this every day is I spent a lot of my life being asleep. And the minute that I realized that, no, I'm waking up to life and reality as it is, I don't want to go back to sleep. I want to stay awake. And that means constantly practicing and constantly being aware of my habits, my patterns, my conditioning, my thoughts, my emotions, and checking in and see, am I resonating?
Right.
Am I being my most authentic self? And I get to do that all through meditation practice.
That's so great. That's so great. I think maybe I'm going to start doing it more than I do it for about 5 minutes.
That's great.
I'm not going to lie.
That's great.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not a 45 minute.
5 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes.
Now,
30,
let me ask
whatever,
you
it
this.
doesn't
Let me
matter.
ask you this, Priya.
Yes.
Can we multitask while we're doing?
Can we multitask while you're meditating?
Okay, so I like to work out, Priya. I like to work out. So let me ask you this.
Good question.
While
I know where you're going.
running-
I know where you're going with
Well,
this.
I'm running. I mean, and I do this every time I run. I mean, I have solved world problems, I swear to you, on my runs because I think and I think and I think and I think. Okay, does that count?
So that's a really great question. So, like the training that I went through, the way that they described it is really, really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So they say meditation has two parts. One is considered a getting there, and one is considered a being there. The getting there stage is things like breathing techniques and visualization and guided meditation, running, yoga, dancing is the getting there stage. And then the being there stage is what they consider just simply being with yourself in complete silence and complete stillness.
Okay.
So I would
my
consider the
running
running
is
is the getting
getting
there.
there. Okay, well-
But that doesn't mean to say that you don't get, clarity and all the chemical reactions that are happening in your body might be shifting some
Right.
of the consciousness, right?
Right.
So yes, it's great to do that, but are you able to just simply be still and listen? Is the being there
Right.
stage?
I know.
I don't know if that
Ziggy,
answered your question.
No, I think it is. I know Ziggy was wondering if he could meditate while he was drinking beer at the same time. I think
You can mindful. So okay. So I teach mindful eating,
Yes,
but there
you got-
is something called mindful drinking
Okay,
too.
you've got to talk about that because I was so honored to be asked to be at one of your intention tables. So you got to tell a little bit about that before we get into Ask Jens and our Laughter is the Best Medicine video.
So I created a company called the Intention Table, and it is bringing meditation and the concept of meditation through using food as the vehicle. So it is such a great way to practice being present in the moment, because what you're doing is really just seeing something for what it is. Like the tomato is red, the apple is green, it's round, it came from the sun, or it came from the earth and the sun helped grow this. Like you really just get to see what it is. You bring in the concept of gratitude, but then you're also just focusing, being present, which when you are just starting a meditation practice, it's a really great entryway, right? Everybody eats, some people 1, 2, 3, 4 times a day, and it's a great way to bring presence to something that we do every single day.
Well, one of the things that I loved about that experience was when we were doing it, of course, it was guided. Then you obviously let us have time to have silence. But you were saying, think about who planted the seed that grew this vegetable. Think of the person that picked it. Think of the person that prepared it. Think about just being aware of everything, and you can't help but stop and be in the present when you start to think about all those different things,
Yeah.
and you become very aware. And then you were saying, okay, smell the food and let it touch you on touch your tongue, your mouth, and it was a very enlightening and very enjoyable experience.
Yeah, so that's definitely the feedback that I've gotten, is that people were not even aware of their eating and food habits. So it's been a secondary benefit from this eating meditation company, is that people are becoming more aware of their eating and food habits. At the same time, they're getting to really have a tangible, tactile and sensory experience with meditation, and you do feel successful because in this 35-40 minute meditation, you do feel like you've come out being more present. And
you definitely do.
There's success there in this practice.
Now we are going to put the link of that video
Sure.
in the comment box, because I think everybody needs to watch the whole video. We were kind of going back and forth saying, are we just going to do a little bit? Are we not? But we'll put it in the comment box because we want you to watch it. We want y'all to share anything. You got questions for Priya, let us know. She's going to be answering in the comment box as well. But we want to know your journey. So is this something that you do already? Is it something that now that you've gotten this little bit of information that has been phenomenal from Priya, is it something you want to start doing? I mean, we want to know. Anything else that you want to say before we get into the Ask Jens and Laughter is the Best Medicine?
I think the biggest thing is just start. Maybe let go of anything that you thought it's supposed to be, and there are some best practices if anybody is looking for guidance or help. I'm just coming out with a course pretty soon, and I'd love to be able to walk you through. And
that's awesome, because you need help. I mean, you need help, which really does take us to our Ask Jens question for today. How do you keep going when you just don't feel like you can? And first and foremost, I want everybody to know that everybody feels that way sometimes. Everybody has those days. Sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's months where you just feel like, gosh, I can't keep going. So the first thing I think is to realize that you're not alone. The second thing is you do need to talk to people. You need to get help. You don't want to isolate yourself. You've got to keep moving, but you can take a break. And biggest thing, in my opinion, is find some type of positive practice that is going to give you calmness. And to me, there's nothing better than meditation. And that's why I picked this question for this show, because I think meditation is an incredible release, but it's even more than that. It's like you said, it's really what prepares you for more growth. And you have to grow on purpose. So I love that.
Yay.
Okay. Every week we do a Laughter is the Best Medicine video, because everybody that knows me obviously knows I'm all about laughing. You can't take things too seriously. Nothing is going to last forever. The good times aren't going to last forever, just like the bad times aren't going to last forever. And what gets you through so many of those hard, difficult times is laughter. So I love it when my guest will say, hey, look, I've got a funny video, and Priya, you have one. So kind of set this up for us.
So just recently in December, I went to California to visit my family, and my brother and his wife and nieces and nephews were there. And my nephew was doing a joke, and I was like, man, or he was doing a bunch of jokes, and I was like, I want to record this. And it was literally funny. And so it's just a video of a joke that he did. He's 4. I believe he's 4. And it's just really cute and funny. You'll see and hear his laugh is just infectious, and it might make you smile too.
Hey, are you gonna joke with me?
Yeah. Open the fridge.
Open the fridge?
Fruit punch or champagne?
Fruit punch.
Here's some fruit. Here's your punch.
Ow!
Yeah.
Hey, so don't you love kids because they're just so cute?
Much so. Like, I think a lot of what I do is helping me bring me back to the wonder and the curiosity that kids have, and just the joyfulness. Like, his joy was so pure.
I love to make kids laugh, and I love to be around kids, and I just love laughing, and I love to build people up. And Priya, thank you so much for coming and sharing your passion with people.
Such a pleasure being here today with your audience and with you.
Yes, well, I always love being with Priya. It's amazing. And, if you're interested in really learning more and interacting with me live and interacting with Priya and amazing people like Priya, I've got an event that I do every year, and May 4th is the event date this year for the Beauty, Brains, and Business event. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons why we call it Beauty, Brains, and Business is because beauty comes from within. It's the energy that you have within you that's creating the attraction to other people. So we do talk about your inner beauty and the importance of that. And obviously your brains is your mindset. In business, We were sent here to create, we were sent here to leave a legacy, and we were sent here to help make this world a better place. And you need money to do that. So I tell people all the time, you can make money doing what you love, or you can make money to fund doing what you love. But the one consistent thing is you got to make money. So we want to help you become the best version of yourself. Please let us know what you're in need of so we can address that each Monday at 3 p.m. So until we meet again, be big, be bold, and most importantly, be you. Bye-bye.